I'm Ralf James. I had the privilege of serving in the Air Corps for 37 years before moving on to Defence Force Headquarters. And during the time of the 75th anniversary of the Bremen Flight, I was General Officer Commanding the Air Corps. For that 75th anniversary, what we tried to do was try to come up with some way of commemorating it that was different, that hadn't happened before. So one of my staff recommended that James C. Fitzmaurice was the head of the Air Corps at the time. He conducted the flight. You're the head of the Air Corps. You are still a qualified pilot. Why don't you recreate the flight with a team? So we put the plan together. Lo and behold, the Department of Defence approved the plan. Everybody thought it was a great idea. So serious planning then started, and then we're looking at it. Obviously, we weren't going to be able to do a 36.5-hour flight on our then King Air 200. So we planned a series of events around that date, that departure time, and so on. The ultimate plan of the flight was to take off 75 years to the minute after the original Bremen from Baldonnel here, and to fly around Greenlee Island Lighthouse 75 years to the minute. Day before, beautiful blue skies, lovely Canadian sunshine. Next day, at least 3 feet of snow and blowing gale. So we changed the plan for the day. We went to visit 2 survivors who had helped recover the Bremen back 75 years before. 2 elderly gentlemen who were in a hospital. 2 nicer gentlemen you couldn't meet. And what is unusual, I suppose, is there were 2 gentlemen who had been here on the morning whom we'd had out the day before as well. Pierce Cahill and Liam Cosgrave had both been here and had both come out the previous day to our event in Baldonnel. So it was just a bit of a juxtaposition that we met 2 and 2, and actually they were like brothers, all 4 of them, wonderful gentlemen who would talk away. We were with one of them in his hospital, and we were talking about, he was telling us all about what had happened. He was the man who was quoted as saying, Anton, that he ran into his parents and said, "There's a whale in the sky." We were talking to him and he said, well, it was about now, it was actually about this time. And literally we looked out the window, the fog cleared and we could see the island. Absolutely 75 years to the minute. To sum up, I suppose, Fitzmaurice's position or legacy to aviation is perhaps difficult for us to understand now, given our ability to fly great distances with extreme accuracy. When we recreated the flight, you flew over a land that was, same time of the year, was covered in ice and snow. It was all right for us. We knew plus or minus 10 feet where we were. They hadn't a notion where they were. So I think that typifies the bravery. It typifies actually what they were going into and the challenges that people have faced throughout life when they try new things. But once that was achieved, it was a major psychological break. Aircraft had already come from America to Europe, but you couldn't keep flying aeroplanes one direction. If this was going to work, if there was to be a service, it had to be a return service. They proved it. When their flight was actually plotted, they actually flew far further than Baldonnel to New York. Unfortunately, the weather had taken them completely off course. So they proved it could be done. And that was a major, major achievement for the time. Rolling on from that, he had the vision to look ahead when others weren't, where others were only trying to achieve what was there in front of them. And I think it's that spirit that then comes on, and you can roll through time where Foynes was set up, where Guinness Peat Aviation for leasing aircraft around the world, where Ireland now has an aviation industry that far exceeds that which we would have for an island nation this size. And part of that is a legacy from James C. Fitzmaurice.